What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel, here for a special mid-season review episode with my guy George from the PrimoPod. Very, very excited to have him on. If you don't know, now you know. George, introduce yourself, buddy.
What's up, guys? My name is George from the PrimoPod. You know, we out here looking for some more primos. So make sure you guys look us up, subscribe, and of course, Forza Inter.
Yeah, man. They're just two guys, cousins, right? You guys just talking football, like mainly European football, I would say. You know, Premier League, Spanish, Italian, so kind of covering everything. So definitely recommend you guys checking it out. PrimoPod. I'll leave the link in the comments and description below and all that good stuff. And check out George on Twitter and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get started, George.
Yeah.
Inter, you know, it's been a weird year this year. Obviously, we know 2020 crazy year for everyone, but for football, it's just been a whirlwind. You know, we started off late, but this season it's only been 3 months since the season started, but it feels like it's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
But we're not technically at the midway point, but we're quite there. So here we are for the mid-season review. What are your thoughts? Like, what if when I say how has the season gone to you, what comes to your mind first?
I mean, we're second and a point behind. And honestly, if you would have told me in the beginning of the season, what do I want? I would say I want Scudetto. So like, we're still in the race, and even though it was a tough start, we're still there. So I'm okay. I would say I'm okay right now.
I mean, yeah, if I asked you a few weeks ago when we were knocked out of the Champions League, knocked out of Europe completely, I'm sure your thoughts would have been different. But
yeah,
that's the difference that a few weeks, a few games can make. And 7, you know, now that we're coming in to talk about this with 7 wins in a row, with the highest scoring team in Serie A, which is, it seems to surprise a lot of people when I mention that. People think like, wow, Inter are the top scoring team in Serie A. But even last year we were the second highest scoring team in Serie A behind Atalanta. So this Conte team is a high scoring team. It's just that when you watch them play, it's like it doesn't really translate, does it? Like, we're not an attractive team to watch play, especially since we've now switched back to the old 3-5-2 on the Conte. Would you agree?
I would agree, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the personnel in terms of like Gagliardini. I know the last guy, what's his name?
Nick.
Oh, I know he's the head of Gagliardini FC. I know he's from Jersey. I gotta talk to that guy, dude. I don't know what he's talking about, man.
We probably live down the road from each other.
I know. I gotta go talk to him because honestly, like, I respect Gagliardini, but I think that when he has this big of a role, it definitely affects our play in terms of like possession and keeping the ball. And when he's in there, like, you could tell we don't have the ball, you know, and the other team is controlling the game, and we're just like kind of playing off of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, we just, on paper, that our team is not made to play tiki-taka football, which was the weird decision with Conte at the start of the year, that he was trying to play this attacking football with his team. He was like, I don't know what got into him. He was like talking about how he prefers to win matches 4-3 rather than 1-0. You know, trying this super high defensive line, you know, really high pressing, you know, all these kind of things, and you know, trying to integrate this 3-4-1-2 formation. It was supposed to be for Eriksen, but he didn't even play Eriksen, so I don't even see why he was trying to do that. But it was just, I don't know, he was trying to reinvent himself. I don't know what it was, but I'm glad he cut that experiment short, you know, after, I don't know, it took him like 8 or 9 games to like admit his mistakes on that one. Cut the losses, you know, go back to the 3-5-2, what we know, what he knows best, what the player knows best. Go a bit deeper, you know, it's all right. We'll call it terrible, Conte ball, whatever you want to call it, but this is what fits this team, the you know, the dynamics of these players, their attributes. As you said, you know, we can't expect Gagliardini and these types of players to be playing champagne football, so you have to play to your strengths, and that's what I think what we're doing now, and that's the reason why we have 7 wins in a row.
Yeah, at least now we're getting results, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, as you can see there, like as we said, like Inter are a high scoring team. We're 4th in like the whole top 5 leagues, as you can see there, behind the likes of Bayern Munich, PSG, Liverpool. 34 goals. You know, we're not far off the big boys there, which shows. And there you can see the shots per game as well. You know, we're right up there with all the big boys in terms of the amount of shots we have on goal. So we are an attacking team. Obviously, you can see we have a little bit less possession than them with like 53%, and they have more close to 60. But it doesn't really matter with possession. I think we're more of an efficient team, as we saw, the matches against Napoli, Spezia recently. We don't really need to have the possession of the ball to hurt the other team.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that. Playing on the counter attack, playing with the likes of Hakimi, Lukaku. These guys are deadly on the counter attack. At the start of the season, when we were playing that 3-4-1-2, teams would like sit back against us, and that's it. We wouldn't be able to do anything. But now, when we sit back a little bit deeper, counter attack, Hakimi finally has space. Hakimi is finally being used as he should be. He was the star signing from this summer. I was so excited to see him, but I felt like he wasn't being used properly. But now we're starting to see the real Ashraf Hakimi, and what an upgrade that is on Antonio Candreva.
Yeah, he is nice. I love Hakimi, dude. I think the backlash he was getting was a little too early. Like, I don't understand what that was from. He's 21 years old, and like I think you just put like he has like 4 goals and like 4 assists already or something like that. Like, he's going off, and I think that, like you said, he wasn't being used properly at first. And of course, coming into the Serie A, you got to get used to the tactical side, and of course, playing with Conte, you got to get used to the tactical side of the game. But I mean, you could tell he's a natural talent, bro. He's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, man, he's like tailor-made for this formation. Like, he, as a wing back, maybe if we were playing 4 at the back, it would have been like, is he defensively okay? But when you play with the 5 at the back, you can have a few more defensive mistakes as you got more cover. But yeah, you were saying, the stats wise, Hakimi's right there. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists. He's our third highest scorer this season. So yeah, the criticism at the start, I think everyone just. It was surprising, actually, even coming from Interisti. It wasn't like just from non-Interisti, the criticism. It was like people were, I don't know what people were expecting from Hakimi. I guess they were expecting him to like just get started straight away. But, he's 21, 22 years old. He'll take time. But the Bundesliga, I think, the Bundesliga and the Premier League, I think, are as far as you can get from the Serie A. I think those 2 leagues are completely different. So it will take time to adapt.
Yeah.
But as we've got the player stats are lined up here, we can move on to the next topic, which is who has been your player of the season for Inter until now. And I'm guessing there's only really 2 actual candidates for this award, isn't there? It's either Romelu Lukaku or Nicolo Barella, right?
Yeah. If you have another name than those 2, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So who are you going for, bro?
Oh man, it's so hard, dude. It's so hard because you look at Lukaku and he's our center forward and he's scoring our goals. Without his goals, it would be like really bad, But dude, Nicolo Barella, man, the running he does every game, like the work he puts in, it's insane. I don't know if another player can run the amount that he runs. It's like he's a robot.
Literally, man. He's a beast. He's a machine. Every match review I do, I'm always surprised because recently he's been injured, or he was supposed to be injured, remember, in the Shakhtar match, and he somehow made that match last minute, somehow lasted like 70-80 minutes, and then again he's been playing every single minute. He's not had any rest, and I don't know how he's doing it. So just for that, he deserves praise. But then he actually manages to put quality into the matches, like it's not just the running, it's actual creating chances, scoring that amazing goal against Cagliari, like that volley. What a player we have on our hands. And I saw on your pod with your dad, you did your all-time Inter list, and he even managed to sneak into your starting 11. Like, that's how good that guy is.
Well, we threw him on the bench. But yeah, we really wanted to put him in the 11, but we were like, okay, just because it's a little early right now. But I think he could be like that kind of player for us. He could turn into an Inter legend if we keep him, hold him down. He's a supreme talent for real.
Yeah, and he said, I saw one of his interviews recently, said that Stankovic was his idol, and I think you see a lot of Stankovic in him, don't you? Like those.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and if he develops a long shot like Stankovic, we might have one of the finest midfielders in the world on our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment, let's see, he's got Nicolo Barella. He's got 1 goal and 4 assists at the moment. So yeah, if he can up his goal scoring, man, this guy is the complete midfielder.
Yeah, like I think, like you said, like right now, what he needs to work on is his like finishing, his clinical ability in front of goal. But his 4 assists could honestly be probably double that. Honestly, I feel like I've watched a lot of games where he's just putting so many balls into the box, so many through balls, like his entry balls, like they're setting up a lot of players, and people are just not putting them away unless it's Lukaku.
Yeah, he's the only clinical one on our team this year. We've created with so many chances this year. Like even at the start of the season when things weren't going so well, we were just like creating so many chances. Like that Milan derby comes to mind. Like with the amount of chances we had in that game, we should have tucked away. But it's just been a combination of poor finishing and maybe the wrong people in the wrong place. Lautaro this year has had a bit of a I wouldn't say he has a dip, but he just hasn't progressed. I would say like you're expecting him to take that next step. He looks like he was ready to be the superstar of the Argentinian football, but he's just stagnating with his finishing and like composure in front of a goal. What do you make of Lautaro? He's been splitting a lot of opinion in the Interisti fan base this season.
So like early in the season, I think like that goal he scored against Fiorentina when it was right outside the box, took two touches and just like banged it far, like curled it, you know what I mean? And when I saw that, I was like, damn, like this is gonna be a big season for Lautaro. So he has it, you know what I mean? He has it in him, but like you said, like I think that we didn't get the growth that we wanted in terms of finishing, in terms of being composed in front of the goal. But I still think he has it. Like I wouldn't give up on Lautaro. I think that we need the goals, but when you watch him play, like you get the hold up play, the link up play with Lukaku. Like he's smart. He works so hard. Like he presses the defense. Like without that, it would be tough to play the way we play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, spot on, man. Spot on. I think a lot of people forget about Lautaro. Like even when he's not playing well, he gives so much for the team. Like he takes so much pressure off the other players, off Lukaku. Like he holds up the play. I guess he could improve on that, but still, like in terms of the running he does off the ball, that's why Conte loves him, because he chases every ball like his life depends on it. What do you make? Like some people were saying that we should have sold him to Barcelona when we had the chance. What do you make of that?
Nah, just nah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the real offer was never really on the table. Like people are making up that, like they never even really got close to our valuation. Like if they even got to like 80-90 million, okay, we can talk. Even if it wasn't the 111 million release clause. But Barcelona came with like 30 million and some like bums that they didn't want. So
junior people are like, why would I take that?
Yeah, miss me with that shit, bro.
Yeah.
So between Lukaku and Barella, who would you pick if you really? Let's just go off your gut feeling for player of the season till now.
Man, it's like choosing between your mom and your dad. That's tough.
I'm gonna go for Lukaku for me, because I feel like he really, obviously, like Barella's done all that hard work and everything, but without Lukaku's goals, he really has carried us on his back. He's really stepped up this season. His conversion rate has improved. His hold up play, everything. Like I'm so impressed with Lukaku. He's taken it a step up from last season. So that's for me. Right now, he's just a little notch above Barella.
Yeah, I gotta agree, because I mean, it's the goals. Like without the goals, we'd be screwed. And he came out recently. He said he's top 5, and I think he's being nice. You know what I'm saying? I think he's being nice.
Yeah, there's no argument. Like people were like bashing him because obviously the timing. This guy is so unlucky. Like that Sevilla final, getting that own goal, and then that that moment became a meme when when Alexis Sanchez hit the header. Yeah, like that moment, like he was offside anyway, and he was like in the way of the keeper, so he probably would have been called off even if he wasn't there.
Yeah,
like it's just like he's just an unlucky guy. So and he says that top 5 thing like the day before or 2 days before that Shakhtar match.
Yeah.
He's so unlucky, but he's top 5. Like, there's no arguments. Like, what he's done for Belgium, what he's done for Inter over the last year or so, like, it's like in terms of numbers and performances, he's right up there with like Kane, Lewandowski, all them man there, Haaland. There's no argument. Like, if you're hating on Lukaku still, you must be still like a salty Man United fan or a one of those Premier League fanboys who just remember Lukaku from Man United.
Yeah, those are the only ones that talk shit. But like, I don't. Like, those people don't know shit.
Yeah, those are the worst fans, man. Like Twitter these days, all those fans that those people that comment like ratioed underneath. Like, it's so annoying. Like they'll just get out, bro. Like you don't know football.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agreed on Lukaku. Barella misses out just by a teeny tiny bit, but
Yeah.
gotta give the credit where it's due. We'll see what happens at the end of the season, who gets the award, but for now,
Lukaku's here, Barella's like here, and then everybody else is like down here.
Well, yeah, speaking of who is down here, let's move on to who is been, let's say, I wouldn't say the worst, let's say who's been your biggest disappointment. Let's go with that. Who's been your biggest disappointing player this season?
Okay. All right, so I have two players that come to mind. Okay, I'm gonna say the first one is Handanovic. All right, but I don't want to be too hard on him. It's not that I'm pissed about it or anything, but you can tell that there's been a dip in his overall quality. Especially that last game against Verona. That we've seen him stand and not dive for the ball before. You know what I mean? We've seen that even when he was mad nice. But I've never seen him do what he did against Verona. That was just what the hell is going on right now?
He did that against the Torino once, Belotti last season, if you remember.
God, yes. Yeah. What the hell is that? So I'd say that he is in the conversation for me. And then the second guy is Perisic.
Okay.
For me, you always expected, or you always got two things out of Perisic. You got him to track back, and you got him to beat a player 1v1 and put a good ball in, right? He still tracks back, but now that he's kind of out of position, he's playing left wing back instead of left wing, he gets caught out sometimes. And also now, I don't think I could tell you the last time that he was dangerous going at a fullback 1v1. You know what I mean? I feel like all his moves are getting sought out by defenders. They just push him out, and he can't put a good ball in.
Yeah, they used to have that crossover, step over and cross the combination. But yeah, it seems like everyone knows about that now. Even he that seems to do it here and there. He used to do it all the time before. Now he doesn't seem to have any other skill to get past players. So yeah, I can see your point. Let me just see what's the Perisic's stats for the season.
He might have a goal and 2 assists or something.
Yeah, he's got 1 goal and 2 assists, which I guess is not too bad in the overall scheme of things. He's been playing left wing back, but I'm guessing that goal came against Real Madrid when the one match we played as a striker.
Oh, he scored against Parma too, right?
No, he did. Yeah, he did score against Parma. Yeah, you're right.
But what does Ashley Young have? He probably has more. He's more than Perisic, probably.
No, Ashley Young only has 2 assists to his name this season.
Oh. Well, then.
Well, Ashley Young didn't get to play as a forward.
Yeah, true. He didn't get that. And then also against Verona, what did Perisic play? Right attacking mid? What was that? The trident that we had?
Yeah, he tried to do the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it. That's as close as Perisic has got to his real position this season.
Yeah.
He was the worst Perisic performance this year.
Yeah. So honestly, for me, I don't want to bash Handanovic too much. He's our captain. I think he deserves a little bit more respect from Inter fans that are talking shit about him, which is still deserving because he is going down. You know what I mean? But that goes with everything. Any player that has played a long career and they're getting older, their quality is going to drop, and that just means that we need to find a new goalie, right? But Perisic, it's just weird because we sent him out and then we brought him back, and it just doesn't make sense, and he's not playing well. So for me, I would say that he's been my biggest disappointment.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, definitely agree with Handanovic, but it's got to the point where I'm not even disappointed in him anymore. It's just it's expected now with Handanovic. But the Perisic one is very good. Yeah, I think he was one of mine. I think that left wing back position in general, him and Ashley Young for me have both been very compared to Ashley Young. Last year we were wow. I wasn't expecting. He was above expectations, and you were okay, maybe he can do a job. But this season he's not been nowhere near the level he was at last year. He's been a liability defensively. He gave away a penalty against Torino. Against a few other teams, he was a bit shaky at the back. He's been targeted, I think, by the teams. He's not really shown that experience that he's supposed to have. Yeah, so that left wing back position in general, you're right. But with Perisic, I don't want to bash him because he's tried his best. He's
I guess.
He's a position that is not he's completely new to him. He's given it a go. I don't want to bash the guy because he still puts in effort. I saw a few decent matches from him, against Sassuolo. He was he was pretty solid.
Yeah.
He had 2 or 3 matches where it looked like, okay, he looks like he's getting used to this role, but then yeah, he's gone back downhill. So for me, like, it's a weird one, but even it's similar to Handanovic. I didn't really have many expectations for him, but I wasn't expecting like nothing like what he has given now, which is Raja Nainggolan.
Yeah.
Like this guy, I think him. So by minutes played, and Raja Nainggolan is the second lowest in the Inter squad. Just he's got 1 more minute than Pinamonti, and yes, he had an injury recently, but even before that, it seems like he was just, his mindset has never been in like, sorting himself out, being a true professional. It just looks like he wanted that move to Cagliari. He's never really, understood that, this could be his best chance to win a trophy. Like, this guy, for me, he's been one of the best Serie A midfielders of the past decade.
Yeah.
But he's got nothing to show for it. Like, he's going to go down in history with 0 trophies. This year, like I in one of my videos at the start of the season, I sent like a message to Nainggolan, like I made like a 30-second rant talking to just Nainggolan, like, come on Raja, like this is your season, like just do something finally. You can do something. Like, look from Arturo Vidal, who's still going at 33 years old. He's obviously okay. You can talk about Vidal's performances, but he's there, putting, being a true professional. But Nainggolan, this guy is an alcoholic, bum. Like, I'm so disappointed with this guy. So for me, the biggest disappointment is Raja Nainggolan, and especially because he's so expensive on our books, like on our balance books. He earns like 3.25 million or something net a year. Like, he's not cheap. And obviously that deal to sign him with the Zaniolo deal just keeps looking worse and worse as the years go on. Even though Zaniolo's had his injury issues, obviously, but still, just like, we can't get rid of Nainggolan now. That's the issue, because his salary is so high. Cagliari keep trying to buy him, but like for free. So it's just a mess. Hopefully we manage to get rid of Nainggolan, because I've just given up hope on him. Like, what's your thoughts on Nainggolan?
That's a good one too. Like, I thought of Perisic because I actually see him play, so I'm like disappointed in his play, but not Nainggolan. I never see him play, so I'm like super disappointed in Ninja, man. Like, 'cause when he was at Roma, I mean, he was a beast. Like you said, best player, one of the best players of the decade. And even early in his Inter career with Spalletti, like you see that he still had it. And last year with Cagliari, he had like 6 goals, 7 assists. Like,
like, you can't say that we're just bringing out some like bum from like the darkness. Like, we're trying to re-bring him. Like, he had a great season last year. Like, so there's nothing. So he should be like okay to go, but I don't know if it's something that maybe Conte, because Conte, we know he's a guy who wants, in training, in the match, he needs like, grinta, 100% determination. So we don't know what goes on in training, but I'm sure something clearly isn't right from Raja Nainggolan's side, because
And just like, imagine the midfield we could have had with Vidal and Ninja. Like, that would have been scary as hell. Like, that would have been all over social medias, like that.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning that it went viral, that picture when Inter brought on Vidal and Nainggolan against Fiorentina at the start of the season. Even like those like footy Bible, sport Bible kind of places were posting us.
That's probably the last time they posted about Inter.
Yeah, or when Eriksen went bold.
Oh yeah, God, that was not good. That was not good.
Yeah, so for me, Nainggolan is there, but we have a few other candidates that we probably should mention, like Alexander Kolarov. I'm guessing a lot of people didn't really have much expectations from him, but I thought that he would have been a decent signing, but he's been catastrophic. Like, that Milan derby was just both goals were on him, and then even against Benevento, I remember seeing like all the goals came from like shakiness from his side. He's just, in general, he's not been good, and he got COVID. And then now it seems like Antonio Conte's realized like he's not even touched the pitch since like before the international break. So I'm guessing he's finally realized that maybe he wasn't the right buy.
I guess he's too slow for left wing back too. Like,
yeah, and in a Conte system, you need an athletic left. Like, you have to be quite athletic. I'm not sure he's got the legs now to cover up and down like Conte wants. But yeah, so I think those were definitely the names up there. Gagliardini doesn't make it, because Gagliardini, even though we like to bash him, he's done okay. Okay.
He can't be a flop. Like,
he's got what he's got in the Serie A. He's got 2 goals, 1 assist.
It's not his fault that he plays so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, I guess we could talk about Christian Eriksen. being a disappointment. But once again, I think we kind of expected Eriksen not to be really part of Antonio Conte's plans. Like, what do you make of the Eriksen situation? I don't really talk to you about that. Like, what?
I'm gonna call Eriksen a disappointment. I'm gonna say Conte is a disappointment because, like, if you bring a player like what we had a chance to bring a player of Eriksen's quality for 20 million. We could have made that one of the best deals of this decade, right? Like, Eriksen is before in Tottenham, he was top 3 attacking mids in the world. You know, playing like I saw stats coming into like Inter, he was like number 1 in key passes, number 1 in free kicks, number 1 whatever it was in Premier League. Like, he was going off, and we brought him in for 20 million, and then we had a chance to make it great, and we did the opposite. So I feel really bad for Eriksen, honestly. Like, like, especially
lost his hair.
He's going bald now, and he's like, he doesn't even have a clean like hairline. The shit's going back. So it's like
when you do get those trimmers that you can cut yourself, or you just do that.
He did it in the locker room, like right before.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I agree with you. I've talked about that guy for probably too much on this channel, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think it's more 50-50. Like, at the beginning I was completely on Conte, like, you know, this is on you, but then when he is given his chances, it seems like he's not really understood what Conte wants. Like, he doesn't really seem to change his style of play, but
yeah, and he just doesn't fit, you know, like,
yeah, it doesn't fit. Like, yeah, it's not his fault. Management as well, like, management definitely deserve criticism for that. Like, if you knew that Conte didn't really want him, or like, you know, wasn't going to, you know, or he didn't rate him originally, like, just don't. Yeah, like, I know it was an opportunity. Like, I was happy for him to bring him in, like you were, like, you know, 20 million, bring him in. But that's why I'm against, or not against, I'm quite skeptical about this Papu Gomez rumor now, because it's more, seems like it's more like an opportunity, like Eriksen was, rather than a need in the team. Like, what do you make of the Papu Gomez potential move?
It's tough too, because, you know, you see a player like that and you want him on your team, you know?
Yeah.
If you try to be like logical, it doesn't really make sense with Conte's system either. But the difference with Gomez and Eriksen is Gomez is more of like a forward. So I could see him playing in the 2 up top, you know? I could see him being like a partner to either one of our forwards. So I think that fits him a little better.
And Sanchez gets injured quite a lot, as we've seen recently. He's injured again now.
Gomez?
Sanchez gets injured a lot next season.
Yeah, so that's tough too. Like, we need somebody to fill that role, and I think Gomez could do it. I think Papu Gomez could do it. So yeah. I would bring him in.
Yeah, as I said, if it was up to me, I would bring him in. I love all these, like, you know, technical players and, you know, ballers, more ballers on the team, everyone's happy. But it's just, at the end of the day, we don't want to see a Christian Eriksen situation where, you know, he doesn't quite fit in. But let's see what happens. But I'm
kind of beautiful. It would be kind of beautiful. We swapped Gomez and Eriksen, right? We took Gomez. Eriksen went to Atalanta. Imagine Eriksen in Atalanta's system, right? I think that would be kind of beautiful. And then we make it a loan deal, so that he can come back in the summer, you know, just in case Conte leaves, and then maybe he works out for the next coach.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of people are saying that, like, they're almost, or a lot of people, especially a few weeks ago, a lot of people were hoping that, you know, Eriksen's loaned down and then comes back, and then Conte's gone at the end of the season. It's really split the fan base, this Eriksen thing. Like, it's almost turned people against Conte. But yeah, that could, I don't know. Atalanta, again, they play a very, very fluid, very dynamic football. Again, I don't really see how Eriksen would fit in there.
Yeah, because I guess more of like 2 and 1 instead of like 1 and 2, you know? He's not really like a set 10.
Maybe. But then his wages, I think he earns more than like the whole team.
True.
But I think he needs to go back to like Premier League or PSG with Pochettino, who's now there. Maybe he'll take him. But yeah, Inter's January really hinges on Eriksen. If we manage to get rid of Eriksen in January, because his wages will free up so much space, even if it's just a loan. January wise, like, who, obviously you seem like a Papu Gomez fan, but who else do you think, who do you think Inter needs? Like, not who you want, but who do you think Inter needs?
Well, in number 1 position that we need, I think you already said something about it, is our left wing back. I think we need a left wing back. I don't know.
A proper one.
Yeah. I don't know an actual left wing back, right? Like
Yeah.
someone who actually plays that position. I don't know who. I know they said like Marcos Alonso from Chelsea. I know he likes Emerson Palmieri too, another player from Chelsea. But I don't know who. But we need somebody that actually plays that position.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the number one thing we should do for our transfer window. And,
Yeah. And what about the striker? Who, obviously we need someone to back up Lukaku. Who would you bring in, like a low cost option? Do you have any names?
Yeah, we do need another backup to Lukaku. I know Gomez. I mean, he technically could be low cost because I mean they want like 10 million for him or something like that.
Mm.
I think him honestly as like a backup like to Lukaku or Lautaro. I mean, obviously it's going to be weird for him to take that role going from like such a prominent role in Atalanta to like a backup, in Inter. But I think you take that risk if we're going to fight for the Scudetto. You take that risk to play in a team like that. I know Gervinho has always been a name that people like and they want to get him out of Parma because the next time we play Parma, he's going to probably score a hat. So.
He turns into prime Ronaldinho against us every time.
Yeah.
But the thing, with Gervinho is like, it's like we link with these players like Vidal. It's like a few years too late, like Alexis Sanchez. A few years too late, isn't it? Like, imagine if we had Alexis Sanchez in his prime when he was like 26, 27, not when he was 31.
Yeah.
Vidal when he was 27, 28. Papu Gomez a couple of years ago. Gervinho maybe like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like we always get linked with players like once they're out of their prime, which is annoying. But I would go for more like a traditional number 9 to back up Lukaku, because God forbid anything happens to Lukaku, we still need that target man type player.
Yeah.
We've been linked with the likes of Pavoletti, who might work out just because with the Cagliari thing, maybe he can be a swap with Nainggolan or something. Wouldn't be too bad. But he's coming back off some ACL injuries. But the one that puzzles me is like Mandzukic is out there. He's a free agent at the moment. I don't understand why no one's going for Mario Mandzukic. Like he just is he asking for too much money? Like what's happened? Like that guy is like an absolute warrior. Like he would put his body on the line for any team. Like
perfect player for Conte. I mean, that kind of work rate out of a forward.
Yeah. Fernando Llorente is also available on a free, but I'm not really sure about Fernando Llorente. But even if it is Fernando Llorente, like we need someone. We can't go like this transfer window without getting anyone, because obviously Conte doesn't rate Pinamonti, and I don't think he's that type of striker to really be a target man. He seems to be more of like a poacher type player.
Yeah.
And clearly Conte doesn't rate him at all. Like he's played Perisic instead of him as a striker a lot of times. So we need to cut our losses there.
Yeah.
But I think someone like Mandzukic, Llorente, if we can get someone like that low cost option. But I think as you said, left wing back should be a main priority. And then if we can get rid of Eriksen on some sort of loan deal, or even miraculously we can get rid of Vecino or someone Nainggolan with some money, then we can finally bring in the midfielder that Antonio Conte really wanted in that position. Whether it is Rodrigo De Paul, Locatelli, Paredes. I guess they're talking about a possible swap with Eriksen. What do you make of Paredes? Have you got opinion on him?
I think he would fit with Conte's role. The only thing is that I'd see him being like a backup to Brozovic. So I don't know if he really would fit into the side of Brozovic. You know what I mean? I think he would. I think he's a regista really. When I watch him, he seems like he would fit that role.
Yeah, spot on. I think I'm the same. He's not really a dynamic midfielder who's going to cover the ground. He's he's more of a passer. And the thing is, we actually do need a vice Brozovic. Like we've needed it since last season. Like once Brozovic is not there, then like no one's really, moving Barella back kind of works, but then you take away Barella from being higher up. So you really need someone to be, even with Brozovic, yes, we've seen how important he is to the team, but we've seen how inconsistent he can be as well. Like, at some point, you do need to like have someone that challenges Brozovic, like in that position. Yeah. But let's see with Paredes, because he's quite a high earner at PSG as well. So let's see if he really is a swap that's possible. But I would love to see. For me, the name has always been Rodrigo De Paul. I think he's tailor-made. Yeah. Even before Conte, like I always thought he was a good player, but under Conte, I think he's really tailor-made because he's he's what a center attacking mid in Conte's mind should do, or a midfielder. Like he carries the ball, like he takes on players. He tackles, he presses, like he does everything. He's not like Eriksen kind of, relies on the passing. He does a little bit of everything. It just depends on what Udinese want. Like, will they actually let him leave finally? Like, what do you make of DePaul? Do you like him?
Yeah, I think he's pretty versatile too. Like he can fit many different roles. Kind of like Barella, right? We play Barella at the Regista, we play him at the 8, we play him at the 10, whatever we need him to play, he plays. And I think DePaul could do that for us. So having any player that plays more than one position, is awesome. And I think DePaul can do that for us.
Yeah, I've watched Udinese, an awful team to watch, but sometimes I tune in just to watch him. And I've seen him play as a regista sometimes when some of the players are missing. He started off his career as a winger as well. Like, he's got everything. And stats wise, I've seen that he's got the most dribbles. Like he completes the most dribbles per match in the Serie A. He's got the most ball carries, and it's like he's a ball carrying midfielder, which is something that we lack. Like all of our midfielders don't really carry. They don't take on players, which is something that our team in general lacks. We don't really have dribblers in our team. Yeah. Which I think is also the reason why we don't really win many penalties. Our players don't really take on players, so you're not going to beat players or get taken down, win fouls. So we do need players that take a little bit more risk on the ball. But yeah, for me that would be a dream signing, but it all hinges on whether we manage to get rid of the likes of Vecino, Nainggolan, Eriksen, those big salaries that we have on the books. So Beppe Marotta, Piero Zilio, you got your work cut out.
So I would say that that's probably even more important than finding a Vice Lukaku. If we were still in Europe, I would say that Vice Lukaku would probably be number one for me, right? But since we're not in Europe anymore and we only have to worry about the Italian league, I think that finding the left wing back is number one. Finding another player for our midfield that actually fits what Conte wants, because we have, if you look at our numbers, right? We have so many numbers, but Conte only uses like 3 of them. So exactly. Like another backup to somebody. Like we need more legs, or we're gonna get hurt.
And then obviously we have Stefano Sensi, who's probably like my favorite player on the team. And does my guy George look like Stefano Sensi? Let me know in the comments below, because he is the spitting image of Stefano Sensi. Come on, guys. But what do you make of Stefano? Like, obviously he's your lookalike, so you're not gonna bash him. But
no.
Are you like, some people were like, oh, we wasted money paying 20-25 million to Sassuolo. Like, what do you make of Sensi?
First of all, he's handsome as hell, right? That's number one. Number two, last season when Barella, Brozovic, Sensi played all at once, it was one of the most beautiful things I ever watched. Like, I loved watching us play, and Sensi was the perfect link between Brozovic as our regista, Barella as like our ball winner, and then Sensi as our like link up to the forwards. Like, he just did everything we needed, and I really want him to get back to that. I know that he had those injury problems. I know that, I think Conte right now is being like safe with him. I don't think he wants to throw him in, but I think that you gotta try. I mean, he's getting back into it, so hopefully, if he can get back to that play. I mean, Barcelona, like when he was playing like that, Barcelona, there was reports that Barcelona wanted him. So like that just goes to show you, 2 months of Sensi, Barcelona was already gonna splash some money on him. Like, you ready? This man is nice.
He's nice. That's we've seen him the few matches he's had since he's come back from injury, against Napoli, against Spezia. He's changed the match. So a fit Sensi can really be the game changer into the season, and I think he would make us into Scudetto contenders if we keep going like this. So let's all pray to every single god that you believe in, that his glass legs stay intact for the rest of the season. But yeah, that was it for us in terms of the mid-season review. That was a pretty good episode, right?
That was awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. We'll have you on at the end of the season to have a look back on our takes, see how we did, see how the January window goes as well. Let's see who we bring in. What's your prediction for the end of the season? Are into bringing a Scudetto home? Yes or no?
Yes.
My guy. I'm with you. I predicted it at the start of the season. I'm even more convinced now seeing Pirlo's wine merchants, Juventus. And, we'll get the Cugini of AC Milan back in the next derby. So
for sure.
we'll get him back.
For sure.
But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, guys. Make sure to check out PrimoPod and George on all platforms. I'll leave everything in the description down below. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you for the next episode. Ciao, everyone, and Forza Inter.
Forza Inter.